Hey, welcome to Reddit Reveals. Get comfortable. This story is worth your time. She whispered his name in her sleep. That's what started everything. It was just after 1 in the morning. I was half asleep, lying on my side, when she rolled over, clutched my arm, and said it. Soft, sweet, full of breath. Connor. I froze. My name isn't Connor. I didn't say a word. Just laid there, eyes open in the dark, her nails still resting on my skin like we were fine. Like I didn't just hear her dreaming about another man right next to me in our own bed. I was up the rest of the night. Didn't move. Didn't blink. At 7 sharp, I got out of bed, grabbed my keys, and left. No breakfast, no kiss, just walked out. You ever have one of those moments where everything in your life feels fake? Like your whole reality just rips in half with one sentence? That was me. In the car, no radio, no music, just the sound of tires on wet asphalt and that one name on repeat in my head. Connor. I didn't ask her about it that day, or the day after. Instead, I started watching. I'd never been the jealous type. Never checked her phone, never asked who she was texting, but now I paid attention. She'd get home from work and disappear into the bathroom for 20 minutes with her phone. She never used to do that. She changed her lock screen, started sleeping in a t-shirt instead of nothing, like she used to. Started turning her phone face down on the table. It was textbook. But the crazy part? She still acted like everything was fine. Kissed me goodbye, laughed at my jokes, sent me grocery lists like nothing was going on, like I was too stupid to see it. So one night, while she was in the shower, I opened her iPad. It was linked to her messages. She'd forgotten that. I saw everything. Connor worked at her office, new guy. They'd been texting for weeks, flirting, sending selfies, planning a weekend conference in Cincinnati that didn't exist. She even told him she dreamed about him. That was the part that made my skin crawl. I didn't throw her phone, didn't punch a wall. I waited. Waited until Sunday night when she made her little salmon and rice dinner, like we were happy. Halfway through the meal, I looked her dead in the face and said, "Don't hide it. Text him right now. I want to see what he says." She blinked, dropped her fork, and laughed like I was joking. I said, "Text him now. I'm not joking." And that was the exact second she realized I knew everything. She didn't text him. She stared at me like a raccoon caught in a garage light, then grabbed her water glass like she suddenly forgot how to breathe. "What are you talking about?" she asked. Her voice was calm, too calm. That fake, confused tone women use when they know the walls are closing in and they're stalling for time. I didn't answer. I slid the iPad across the table. Open. Messages up. Connor's name in bold, with the last thing he wrote still showing. Wish I could have stayed the night again. She didn't even reach for it, just stared at the screen like it was going to explode. Then she whispered, "It's not what it looks like." That was the first lie. She reached for my hand like I was supposed to comfort her, like she was the victim. I pulled my hand back. "I saw everything," I said. The photos, the texts, the hotel. "You even told him you dreamt about him. Did you forget you talk in your sleep?" That hit her. I saw it in her eyes, the realization that her own subconscious gave her away. She stopped pretending, just sat back and said, "Okay, yeah. We've been talking, but I didn't sleep with him, I swear." That was the second lie. I asked, "So, what do you call sharing a hotel room with him in Cincinnati?" She blinked. "I didn't... Wait, you checked my location?" "Nope," I said. "I checked the hotel bill. You used our joint card. You're not even good at this." Her mouth opened, then closed again like she was buffering. I could hear her breathing pick up. Her eyes darted like she was looking for an exit in her own house. Then she got angry. "This isn't fair. You invaded my privacy. I only started talking to him because you stopped paying attention to me months ago. What was I supposed to do? Just feel alone forever? Ah, there it was. The classic cheater's move. Flip the guilt. Make it my fault. Like she was the victim for needing attention. Like sneaking around and whispering another man's name in her sleep was some kind of self-care. She wasn't crying. She was just angry. She got caught. I got up, threw my plate in the sink. Not hard. Just enough to make a noise. She flinched. I want your phone, I said. Now. Unlock it. She froze. That told me everything I needed to know. She stared at me for a full 10 seconds like she didn't understand the words. I didn't repeat myself. I just stood there with my hand out, palm open, waiting. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears, but I didn't flinch. I was done giving her chances to lie. I wasn't asking anymore. I was demanding. I want your phone, I said again, slower this time. She moved like a robot, quiet, cautious. She grabbed her phone from the table, unlocked it, and handed it over. Just like that. At first, I thought maybe I'd misjudged her. Maybe she actually was telling the truth for once, but the second I took it, I knew. It was clean. Too clean. No text history with Connor. No Instagram DMs. No photos in the deleted folder. It looked like a brand new device. Then I checked the settings. This wasn't the phone she always used. I looked up. Where's your actual phone? She blinked. That is my phone. No, it's not. This is the backup. The one you used to keep in your car before your screen cracked. You switched SIMs. Now she started to shake. I could see it, just a twitch in her fingers at first. Then her breathing went shallow. She tried to talk, but her voice caught in her throat. I asked again, calm, flat. Where is the real phone? She opened her mouth to lie. I saw it coming, so I cut her off before she got the words out. If you lie one more time, I swear, I'll walk upstairs, pack your things, and drop them at your mom's. Don't test me. She walked into the garage, didn't say anything, just disappeared for a second, then came back holding her purse, dug through it, pulled out her actual phone, the one with the pink case and the tiny chip in the corner she always complained about. She held it like it was on fire. When she handed it to me, her hands were cold. I opened it. I didn't have to search hard. It was all still there. Messages, voice notes, even videos. One where she was lying in bed whispering, "Miss you already, baby," with a soft giggle. The last text from him said, "Tell Dennis yet?" I showed her the screen. You tell him anything?" I asked, almost spitting the words. She whispered, "No." Her face went pale. I think that was the moment she realized she didn't just destroy our marriage. She made herself into someone I'd never be able to respect again. I said, "So you were just going to keep lying? Let me take you on date nights, sleep in my bed, while you sneak off and call him baby?" She covered her mouth and turned away, like she couldn't stand to hear it out loud. Like the truth was suddenly too much to bear. But I wasn't done. I followed her down the hallway. "Tell me how long I want a number. Weeks? Months? Was it before your dad died?" She stopped. Didn't turn around, just stood there like a statue. And when she finally answered, my stomach dropped. She didn't look at me when she said it. She was still facing the hallway wall, her arms crossed, one hand covering her mouth like she was trying to physically hold the words in. Her voice came out small, flat, almost robotic. "It started in June." I stood still. "What day in June?" There was a long pause. Then she said it without turning around. "Our anniversary." That sentence didn't even hit me like a punch. It was worse. It just hollowed me out. I didn't say anything right away. Couldn't. My brain was stuck, playing the memory like a movie on loop. I took her to Lake Geneva for our 7th wedding anniversary. Rented a cabin, Made her breakfast that morning. Bought her a little silver bracelet with our initials engraved. She said it was the most thoughtful thing anyone's ever done. For her. Meanwhile, she was texting him under the table. She turned around slowly. Her eyes were red, but I didn't see tears. Just shame. It wasn't supposed to happen, she whispered. He was just easy to talk to. I was lonely. I didn't think it would go that far. I laughed. I couldn't help it. The sound just came out of me. Sharp. Bitter. Joyless. You were lonely? I snapped. We were at a lakefront cabin drinking wine and feeding ducks and talking about baby names, and you were lonely? She tried to reach for me, and I stepped back. You were with him that weekend, didn't you? She flinched like I'd hit her. You left the cabin for 2 hours to get groceries. I remember that. You came back in a different shirt. I didn't need her to answer. Her face did it for her. My chest was tight. Not from anger, but from this sinking realization that the woman I married didn't exist anymore. Maybe she never did. I said, how many times? She whispered, 3. I raised my voice. How many times? 7. Okay. 7, maybe 8. I lost count. Then she started crying, finally. It was never about love. I don't love him. I just felt forgotten. There it was again. That same excuse. You felt forgotten because I was working overtime trying to afford IVF. I was out there killing myself to start a family with you, and you were out there sleeping with a guy named Connor. She broke down sobbing. I didn't comfort her. I didn't move. I just stared at the person I thought I knew. And then she said something I'll never forget. I was going to end it. I just didn't know how. I didn't sleep after that. I lay awake in the guest room, staring at the ceiling, hearing her cry on the other side of the wall like it meant something. But it didn't. Not anymore. Not to me. She said she was going to end it. She said she didn't love him. She said all the things people say when they're caught. But I knew better now. It wasn't the affair that broke me. It was how far it went. The planning, the lying, the fact that she let me pour everything I had into our life together while she gave herself to someone else behind my back. You don't just trip and fall into 8 secret hotel meetups. That's not a mistake. That's a system. The next morning, she left early. Said she needed space, wanted to clear her head. She looked exhausted. Sweatpants, messy bun, no makeup. She had the nerve to act like she was the one who got betrayed. I didn't say anything. I just nodded and watched her leave. But I didn't stay home. I got in my truck and followed her. She didn't notice. She was too distracted. She was probably rehearsing what lie to tell next. I kept 2 cars back the whole time. She didn't go to work. She didn't go to her mom's. She didn't even go to the park like she sometimes did to think. She drove across town and pulled into the parking lot of a Hampton Inn. I parked on the other side and waited. 10 minutes passed, then 15, and then I saw him. Connor. I recognized him from the pictures in her phone. Average guy. Thin. Nothing special. Balding a little. He walked across the lot like he didn't have a care in the world and tapped on her window, like it was something they did every Tuesday. She got out. They hugged. She looked nervous. He kissed her cheek. They stood there talking for a minute. She kept looking around, glancing at the hotel doors like she was deciding whether to go in. She looked guilty. Like she knew it was wrong, but was still going to do it anyway. Then she started crying. He put his hands on her shoulders like he was trying to calm her down. And that's when I realized she was breaking up with him. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but her body language said everything. She wasn't leaning in. She wasn't touching him. She was pulling away, arms crossed, stepping back, like she didn't want to be near him. He didn't take it well. He started pacing, waving his hands, clearly upset. Not yelling, but agitated. He looked like a guy who thought he was owed more. I took a picture from my seat. Not for proof. Not to show her. Just for me. I wanted to remember what betrayal looked like, what weakness looked like, what the guy who broke my marriage looked like in daylight. And then, out of nowhere, she did something that made me grip the steering wheel so tight I thought it'd snap. She hugged him, not quick, not polite. A long, slow, soft hug. Like a goodbye you didn't really want to say. She came home 3 hours later. Her hair was still a mess, eyes red, no makeup. She looked like someone coming back from a funeral. I was in the kitchen, pretending to scroll my phone, pretending I hadn't watched the whole thing. She walked in slow, like she was waiting for me to explode. But I didn't. I didn't ask her where she'd been or what she'd done. I let her talk first. I ended it, she said, setting her keys down with shaky hands. I told him we can't talk anymore. I didn't even look up. I just nodded. Calm. Cold. Like she hadn't just ripped me in half over the past 72 hours. She kept going, like she needed me to know the details to forgive her. He got upset. Said he thought I was going to leave you. I told him I was confused and made a mistake. That I never stopped loving you. I swear that's the truth. It was actually kind of impressive how practiced she sounded. Like she'd said it all in her head 10 times before walking through the door. But what she didn't know was that I'd already heard the conversation, all of it. Because here's the part I didn't mention yet. When I took her real phone and went through the messages with Connor, I also noticed something else. She had automatic call recordings turned on. Probably forgot about it. I opened the voice memos, and there it was. A full recording of their last call from the night before. 48 minutes long, so yeah, I already knew what she told him before she ever told me. And let me tell you, what I heard wasn't what she was saying in my kitchen. She didn't end it clean. She cried on the call. Told him she didn't know what to do. That she wished she met him first. That I used to be romantic but stopped caring. She said she felt trapped. And when he asked if there was still hope for them someday, she didn't say no. She said, I don't know. Maybe. So standing there in front of me, lying again, trying to play the role of the remorseful wife, it made my skin crawl. I stood up, walked past her, grabbed my keys off the hook, and headed for the door. She panicked. Where are you going? Can we please talk? I turned and looked her straight in the eye. You already did your talking. I heard every word of it. You forgot your phone records calls. Her mouth fell open like someone pulled the floor out from under her. Pure panic. She tried to follow me, started stammering something, but I didn't stick around. I needed air. I needed space. I needed to decide whether I could live with the sound of her voice saying, maybe. I didn't go far that night, just parked in the lot outside a closed strip mall 2 blocks away and sat in silence. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't even punch the steering wheel. I just sat there, staring at my reflection in the dark glass of the windshield, wondering how on earth I got here. 7 years of marriage. A life built brick by brick, and now I was watching it collapse like a cheap movie set. All because she didn't know how to be honest. All because maybe meant more to her than forever. And the worst part? I didn't even hate her. I hated how much I didn't hate her. That scared me. She texted twice while I sat there. Please come back. Then 5 minutes later, we can fix this. I'll do whatever it takes. But I didn't go back. Instead, I drove straight to her mom's house. It was almost 10 by then, but I didn't care. Her parents always said I was like a second son. They loved me. We spent every holiday together. Her mom used to call me just to chat, even when my wife wasn't home. I figured if anyone needed to know the truth, it was them. And yeah, maybe that was petty. Maybe that was revenge. But at that point, I didn't care how it looked. I was done protecting someone who had been hiding another life behind my back. Her dad opened the door in his robe, surprised to see me, and even more confused when he saw my face. "You all right, Dennis?" "No," I said. "Can I come in?" 10 minutes later, I was sitting on their couch, and they were sitting across from me, silent, holding their coffee mugs like they were bracing for an earthquake. I told them everything, from the moment she said Connor in her sleep to the night I followed her to the Hampton Inn. Her mom gasped. Her dad looked like someone just unplugged him from the wall. "She told me she ended it," I said. "She looked me in the face and lied, even after I found everything. And you know the worst part? I wanted to forgive her, but I can't do it when she's still lying." Her mom broke down crying. Her dad just nodded, staring at the floor. "I raised her better than this," he muttered. "She said she felt forgotten," I added. "But I was working overtime so we could afford IVF. We were trying to start a family, and she was out seeing some guy from her office." That was when her dad finally spoke again. "You don't have to stay. Don't let guilt keep you chained to her. If this is who she is now, it's not your job to fix her." I left their house with a weird sense of calm. I had no idea what I was going to do next. But one thing was clear. She couldn't lie her way out of this anymore. Not with me, not with her family. And I still had one last thing to say to her. By the time I got back to the house, it was almost midnight. Her car was still in the driveway, lights on inside, blinds half open like she'd been pacing and peeking out every 5 minutes, hoping I'd come back ready to talk it out. I walked in and found her sitting on the couch, knees hugged to her chest, mascara smeared, phone in her lap like she'd been holding it the way a kid clutches a teddy bear. She stood up fast when she saw me, like this was her moment to give some emotional speech that was going to flip everything back into place. I didn't give her the chance. "I told your parents," I said calmly. "Everything." She froze. Her mouth opened, then closed again. She didn't even ask what I told them. She knew. "You what?" she whispered, voice cracking. "They know about the affair, the hotel, the recording, the lies." She stepped back like the words hit her physically. "Why would you do that to me?" I stared at her. This woman who cheated on me for months made me feel crazy, gaslit me in my own home. And now, she wanted to play the victim again? I said, "You did this to yourself. You just never thought you'd get caught." She tried again with the tears, tried to close the space between us. "Dennis, I swear, I'll do whatever it takes. We can go to therapy. I'll quit my job. I'll block his number right now. I'll change." I cut her off. "I'm not your project. I'm not your backup plan. You don't get to keep me as your safety net while you mess around and decide who you love more." She stood there, shaking, breathing hard, like she was about to pass out. But I didn't feel sorry for her anymore. That part of me was gone. And here's the twist most people don't expect. I didn't yell. I didn't throw her stuff out the window. I didn't burn her clothes or smash her phone. I just walked upstairs, grabbed a suitcase, and started packing my things. Because I wasn't giving her the satisfaction of watching a man beg to be loved. I was walking out with my head up, and she was going to live in the mess she created. Over the next few weeks, things unraveled fast for her. Word got out at work. Turns out Connor was married too, and his wife didn't take it well. HR got involved. There was an investigation. Both of them ended up resigning before they were pushed out. I didn't lift a finger. Karma handled it for me. Her parents stopped inviting her over. Her mom sent me a message apologizing for her daughter's actions. Her dad called me a decent man and said he wished I'd been his son-in-law under different circumstances. I moved in with a buddy temporarily, found a one-bedroom across town, started over, and it was lonely at first. I missed the routine, the fake peace. But every time I heard her voice in that recording say, maybe someday, I reminded myself exactly who she was. Now, it's been 6 months. I got promoted at work, started running, lost weight, sleeping like a baby. There's no more second guessing every text or wondering why she's late. And just last week, I ran into Connor's ex-wife at a coffee shop. She smiled, handed me her card, and said, "If you ever want to talk to someone who gets it, I'm around." I think I might call her because this is what peace feels like. What do you think? Did I handle it the right way, or should I have burned it all down? Let me know in the comments and hit like and subscribe for more stories like this.